Welcome to another video. Today it is another Get the Look for Less, and this time I am concentrating on the website Farfetch. Farfetch is one of those websites that has lots of different designers from all over the world, and it just allows you to purchase things from different boutiques under one umbrella. I have never bought anything from Farfetch. I know about it from some of the vloggers that I follow. I love looking through and seeing what new pieces have come in, and as you guys know, I always like to try and think of sewing patterns that will work to recreate the look for a fraction of the price. So let's get started. I am recording my screen, so I will be looking down here to kind of talk you through the bits and pieces that I have found and the patterns that I have matched them with. The first one is actually two pieces by the same company called Bathsheba. The first one is the Carol Ruffled gingham bow tie blouse. It's £185, VAT is included, and they also do it in dress version, Carol floral print ruffled dress. Now I'm cheating a little bit. I featured this pattern in my previous Get the Look for Less video, which featured Zimmerman, and it is the McCall's 7977. So for the Zimmerman one, it was all very floaty, kind of silk chiffon, silk georgettes, that kind of thing. This time round, if we were going to be channeling the designer Bathsheba, this would be made in cotton. At least I think it is. It says it is. Yes, brown cotton, dry clean only, 100% cotton. It just doesn't sit well for me. Pre-wash your fabric and then make your garment, and that way you can wash it the same way you pre-washed it. Okay, so the reason that I have gone for this particular pattern I think is self-evident. It has the ruffle around the V-shaped yoke. Now the top does actually have a button-up collar on it with a beautiful big bow. Now I think aren't that many pictures of this. It does come with a matching skirt as well, which is a gathered skirt into an elasticated waistband, which would be really easy to make to recreate this look if you would like to. And I like how they've mirrored the white cotton on the bottom of the skirt and then used some binding to hem it. I think that looks really, really nice. I'd make mine longer, probably have more tears in it, but I do like that outfit. I would probably put a waist belt over the top. To accommodate the collar, there is probably a button placket in the front of the V, which has been covered up by these bows. There aren't that many pictures. Oh no, there's a keyhole opening. Okay, so there's a little keyhole opening in the front of the placket to accommodate that collar piece, which is a really kind of easy alteration to make to this pattern if you wanted to add on a proper sort of shirt collar. Personally, I probably wouldn't. I'm not adverse to adding a bow to the neckline though. I think that would be really cute, and again that would be really easy just to add a little keyhole in to put like a bow collar on there as well. So I think that would be a very easy hack to make to this top. As I mentioned in the Zimmerman one, I would include the elasticated waistband just because I would find that easier, because I would probably wear this tucked in. I would find that easier to corral the top and make it, the gathers be in the right place, rather than kind of leaving it billowy like this version and then having to tuck it in and then hope that everything stayed in the right place. But again, that's a personal preference. You can very easily leave off of the elastic. The elastic channel will be marked as well. That was the cat. If you want to add tiers to the bottom of this top to make it into a dress, as I mentioned in the Zimmerman one, the elastic channel on the waist will be a really good place that you could then add a seam line rather than the elastic channeling to then add the tiers from there. But the Bathsheba top is just straight up and down. It does have the cuffs on the sleeve like the McCall's pattern does. This one does have cuffs as well, which I do like. It'd be very, very easy to kind of do gathered and ruffles as well though if you wanted something slightly different. This one has the keyhole in the back, but again, if you want to put the collar on or a bow onto the front, it would be really easy to transfer this keyhole detail from the back over to the front pattern piece and just sew the back up without any opening there. When I saw the dress, I just thought, you know, it would be, as I mentioned, it would be really easy to add on a rectangular skirt to then give you a dress look with the ruffles at the bottom. This one does have a zip in the back here, so that is something that you could add in if you wanted to, but you wouldn't have to if you went with the McCall's pattern, because if you made it, as long as you make the rectangular skirt big enough to go over your hips and your shoulders, then it would be very easy to have that as a pull-on dress with the elasticated waist if that's what you wanted to. I just really liked how this dress looked in a cotton fabric. I thought it was really interesting. The ruffles are much more sticky outy than they would be in georgette, obviously, but it's a really, really nice look, and it's definitely something that I can see myself making for summer. So we have the top, which is £185, and we have the dress, which is £355. And you could make both of those with the McCall 7977 pattern, and as I've mentioned before, it would also work really well for some Zimmerman dupes as well, so this could be a really hard working pattern in your collection. Okay, next up we have a t-shirt from Reformation. I was scrolling through and the silhouette of this t-shirt immediately reminded me of this particular McCall's pattern that I'm going to show you in a minute. This is the AD ruched detail crop top, and it's £95. White cropped scalloped edge, ruching detail, v-neck, drawstring fastening, long sleeves, and hand wash for 95% polyester spandex and elastane 5%. So it's a hand wash only polyester top for £95. That kind of top, I want it to be easy care. I want to be able to put it in my washing machine and not worry about it. Yeah, this is not the kind of thing that I would want to be hand washing. So the pattern that I've picked for this one is the McCall 7812, and it is for this view, so view B. I really like view A. I like view C as well with the little peplum on it, but personally I think that that wouldn't be as flattering on me. I would want it to stop at my waist with nothing going out from it. Having said that, I absolutely love the dress. I'm going to make the skirt longer, but I fully intend to make this dress as well at some point. I like that you can either have it with straight sleeves or you can have it with bishop sleeves that are gathered in at the wrist with elastic. To completely copy the Reformation top, you would need to take the sleeves from view A and the body from view B, and then you would have something that looks a lot like this, but you could make it out of a gorgeous cotton material and it would be washable in your machine and it wouldn't cost you £95. Definitely not. I can't believe it's polyester. I can't get over that. The McCall's 7812 view B with view A sleeves will give you that Reformation top look. I personally would make it with the bishopy sleeves, and I also do want to make the dress version of it. As I say, I'm going to lengthen the skirt a little bit so it is kind of mid-calf. But other than that, I think this is a really gorgeous dress and a really gorgeous top pattern. It would work really well to recreate the Reformation top. Okay, so next up we have this Alessandra Rich floral print midi dress. This is made from silk and it has a polyamide and viscose blend for, I would imagine, the lace detailing on this. Then the lining is polyamide, 100% polyamide, 95% acetate. Okay, spandex and elastane. So there's a lot going on in this dress. It has sold out since I found it for you. I think it was around £600, but I'm going to see if I can find a price for it and put the price up on screen. So I'm kind of cheating with this one again because I have already featured this pattern in a Get the Look for Less video for a Cult Gaia dress, but it is the McCall 7974, which I have done a sew along for. I love this dress, and the neckline detailing here and the waist detailing are pretty much the same as the Alessandra Rich dress. This one has got these little yoke details on the shoulder with the lace on it, and it has got longer sleeves with lace cuffs as well, which I kind of like the lace on the cuffs. I think the lace on the shoulder details might be a bit much for me, but I do like it on the cuffs. Then I would think this has a side zipper. Yeah, it hasn't got a back zip because the yoke detailing and the lace detailing is going across the back. I would think this has a side zipper. Does it say? It doesn't say, but it looks like the front skirt is a complete piece, so there is no way of getting in and out of it there. So I would imagine this has a side zipper, which is something that I absolutely hate. That's another reason I really like the 7974, is it buttons up the whole way down the front. This would be really, really easy to kind of tweak. It does have the bishop sleeves, but they come to kind of mid forearm, so you'd need to lengthen them and make the cuffs bigger. If you have a shirt pattern that you like, you can steal the cuffs from that. That's not a problem, and lengthening the sleeves is really easy. There are lengthen and shorten lines on most sleeve patterns that you just add your desired length to, and then adding in the lace detailing if you wanted to is just another sort of like little detail that would look really good. Now this does have yoke pieces that are on the shoulder. You could bring them forward if you wanted to. If you wanted to add that lace, you wouldn't necessarily need to, because the lace, if you went for quite a wide lace, would go all the way around quite easily, and you could put the lace across the back very much like the Alessandra Rich dress. You can see the lace goes all the way over the shoulder cap and then across the back of the yoke on this dress as well. If you wanted to really channel this dress, you could definitely do that. But this pattern gives you the basic shape of the midriff and the front panels. I really like this dress. I hate the way they put it together in the instructions. So in my sew along, I fully lined this dress, which it just in my opinion gave a cleaner finish on the inside because of the finishing techniques that I prefer. If you don't want to fully line this dress, then the instructions for making this dress are great. I just didn't like the finish that they gave because I don't like to use an overlocker on woven fabrics, and again, that's just a personal preference of mine. But there is a full sew along for making this dress, and I can see myself digging out some pretty lightweight florals and making myself something like this in the spring summer. That's definitely going to happen. I think it's a really pretty silhouette, and I really like the McCall 7974. Okay, next up we have a mini dress from Kiki Vargas, and it is £610. It is 97% cotton and then 3% spandex and elastane. It is really short. I wouldn't make myself a mini dress like this, but I love the oversized collar, I like the deep V, I love the sleeves, I like the poofy skirt, and I like that it's cinched at the waist. So other than making mine longer, I would make something like this really quickly because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So the pattern that I found is from Vicky Sews, which is one of those gorgeous Russian pattern companies. It's called the Sharon dress. I think it's a dead ringer for the Kiki Vargas dress. I think you could use a slightly more ornate fabric for the collar, but it's got that V. It's probably a slightly more flattering V, not quite so deep as the Kiki Vargas one. I really like the little embroidery details that they've got on this white collar. The sleeves again are not quite as puffy as the Kiki Vargas one, but it's not going to be difficult to slash and spread those sleeve patterns to add more volume if you would like these super puffy sleeves. I haven't ever used a pattern from Vicky Sews, so I don't know what the instructions are like, but again, Alex from Gingerhead & Co has done a whole video on using these Russian pattern companies and how to translate the instructions if they don't come in English. I think this is going to be one that I am adding to my pattern stash because it's gorgeous. I have some amazing fabrics that I could use for the collar. I've also wanted to do embroidered collars for a very long time on black dresses. If I can make them detachable, that would be really cool, because I want to do a white one with a lipstick kiss on one side, and then I've seen another dress that I love with bumblebees on the collar. I want the black dress, but it would be really cool if I could make interchangeable collars for it. I don't know if that's going to be possible with this Vicky Sews pattern, but I would like to give it a go, and I really like the silhouette of this Kiki Vargas dress, except for the hemline. The Vicky Sews Sharon dress is a really good dupe for this £610 cotton dress. Okay, so next up we have a silk polka dot shirt from Barman, and it is £1,650. I was scrolling through and I love this as a dress, but I really like that it's actually I thought it was initially a dress, and I really like that it's separate. I love this shirt. I love all the ruffles on it. I like the sheared cuffs because it gives you a nice blouson parity effect over the top. Yeah, I'm over the moon in love with this. I wouldn't spend £1,600 on it though, because I don't have that kind of money, and oh wow. So it's 100% silk, dry clean only. It's a really lovely fitted shirt with ruffles and big sleeves. Highly desirable if you are me. This is the sort of thing that I love. I have found the Vogue 9029 pattern. Now bear with me on this one. There are lots of options, but it's view D that I think is the dead ringer, because it does have those ruffles. Making this in silk is going to be a pain in the proverbial, but I think it'll be worth it once it's done, because I mean, just look how beautiful. Look how beautiful that is. This one does have bigger sleeves, and as we mentioned with the previous pattern, it would be really easy to slash and spread the sleeve pattern for this shirt just to give you some added volume in the sleeve area if that's what you want. Also, you could take a giant sleeve from another pattern. The one that springs to mind is the 9345. The giant sleeves on that, you could take those and smoosh them onto this Vogue pattern as well. This Vogue pattern does have cuffs rather than the ruching or the shearing at the cuff. I kind of like the idea of the shearing because you could push your sleeves further up your arm to wear it further up like that without having to unbutton the cuff and roll things back. So I do like the idea of this shearing at the sleeve, although I also love the idea of the cuffs as well, and you could definitely make the cuffs slightly longer to give you that look. I think that would be stunning. So either way, there are options. If you're feeling really fancy, view A has little ruffles on the cuffs, so you could add those in as well if you want to go 100% with the ruffles. But yeah, view D of the Vogue 9029 shirt will be a great starting point for this Barman silk shirt. A few little tweaks and you'll end up with something that looks very, very similar for definitely a fraction of the price. So next up is this absolutely gorgeous Alexander McQueen peplum hem asymmetric biker jacket. I saw this and it immediately made me think of the Vogue pattern that you guys were telling me that I should buy, the 1714. The Alexander McQueen has way more zip details and kind of stud details on it, but they're not impossible to add. If you did add those to the 1714, you would have a dead ringer. The Alexander McQueen is £2,655, which is a lot of money. I do appreciate that this is real leather. It's lambskin. Pittards, which is the place that I buy most of my leather from if I am making anything from leather, they do bundles of 10 skins, and I think they're around about 150 to 180 pounds for the 10. They're not the high grade, like a AA, AAA grade quality that give you a huge surface area with no marks on it. You may need more than 10 skins to make a jacket like this, especially with some of these larger pieces. The back of this peplum, there's two really large pattern pieces there. Obviously you can make this in faux leather. I have heard great things about Emmeline Bag's Mora leather. I haven't got my hands on any yet, but I fully intend to get myself some chestnut faux leather from them to make a bag and possibly a jacket with as well. But I've heard great things about it, that it's easy to sew with, that it looks beautiful, that it works well. So I would be really interested to hear from you guys who you source your faux leather from in the comment section down below, because I'm always looking for good sources for that kind of thing. I would probably make it from faux leather rather than real leather just because of the cost. It still wouldn't be £2,655, but it would be an expensive jacket. I love this Alexander McQueen one. I really liked all the extra zip details, and I'm usually not one for too many fussy details. Whilst I really like it on the model on this jacket, I probably would go for the cleaner look from this 1714 pattern from Vogue. But the minute I saw this on Farfetch, it was just like, it's that Vogue pattern that they've all been telling me about. I have to show them this. Next up we have a dress from Oscar de la Renta. It is a lemon print A-line dress, £2,710. I think it is, yep, 56% viscose and 44% cotton. It's dry clean only. And one of the things I loved about this dress was the print, and there is actually a Telio print that I have some in this light sort of light blue minty green background colour with all over lemons, and I've made a skirt from it, and it also comes with a navy background, and I have seen a couple of people carrying this fabric in shops recently and in the UK. I think it was Fabric Godmother. I will try and link it down below for you. It's kind of like a border print that's been used strategically. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have quite a few fabrics in my stash that I plan on making a capsule collection based around this lemon print. So when I saw this dress, it stopped me in my tracks. It's really stunning, and it's really simple pattern if you look at it. Really simple pattern, but the fabric definitely makes it. Has a little self-covered belt in there, which I would get Harlequin to do. Again, Harlequin is a belt making company in Essex. We can't get easy access to self-covered belt kits in the UK, so by the time I've had them shipped over from America, it costs less to have a belt made but professionally by Harlequin, and they're really good quality. So I would have a belt made, and I would use McCall's 7994. I would go for this view but without the ruffles, and I make the sleeves ever so slightly shorter because the Oscar de la Renta dress, the sleeves are ever so slightly shorter. It's a really great pattern. It's really basic bodice with the 4 darts at the front, 4 darts at the back. It has the kind of, we'd say it's like a half circle skirt variations, because they also has the short skirt with a ruffle on it as well, and then the ruffle on the bottoms of the sleeves. It's a great basic pattern that you can definitely use your bigger print fabrics on, and the fabric print won't get lost in all of the details of the dress. It will be the print of the fabric that stands out, very much like this Oscar de la Renta one, on this really basic but well made dress pattern. So yeah, the McCall's 7994 for the Oscar de la Renta lemon print A-line dress. I think I can see myself getting some of the navy background of that lemon print, because as I say, I have the minty background. I can see myself getting the navy print and making this dress because it's just so pretty. There's definitely a theme of the things that I've picked, and it's giant sleeves. I have a thing for big sleeves. I mean, these are actually fairly tame compared to some of the sleeves I have in my wardrobe at the moment. But yeah, this Saint Laurent dress, it was the fabric combination with the sleeves and the neckline. And again, this is a mini dress. I wouldn't want to have it as a mini dress. I would make it much longer. It's £2,175. It's made from a viscose silk blend on the outside and then a silk lining, so it would be beautiful to wear, but obviously dry clean only. I love the devore nature of it. I think you can just about see in probably this image here, there's a very subtle burnout detail in the fabric, which does make it ever so slightly see-through, which I think is a really lovely touch. When I saw this dress, it immediately reminded me of this Vogue pattern that I do have in my stash, and I think again I have featured this in another Get the Look for Less video as a starting point for 3 different designer dresses. This pattern would be a really another hard-working one in your stash. It's the Vogue 1633. It has the sleeves, it has the fitted bodice, and it has the neckline detail. Then it has the full skirt. I think Rachel's made this recently, and she said that the skirt wasn't quite full enough to balance out all the volume at the top. I like a full skirt. I would probably make this skirt fuller. So the Saint Laurent dress has button-up detail at the back neckline and then a little keyhole, and I believe it's a pullover dress. I think the shaping comes from the tie belt here. So the Vogue dress is a little bit different. It does have a zipper and then buttons at the back neckline. I don't mind either one. If you want that little bit of skin poking out, you can always just put the zipper in to come. For me, it would be above my bra strap at the back. Again, it would be an absolute pig to make it in silk. It would be a bloody nightmare, but it will be so worth it when it's finally finished. And I do have some amazing silk in my stash that would make an amazing version of this dress. Oh, if I can bring myself to use it, because just the thought, the final garment's going to be amazing, but the thought of having to go through all of the stuff you have to go through to make a silk garment's like, the idea is so much nicer than the actual going through it. But I'm sure that it will be one of those times that I make the thing and have a horrendous time the entire time of making it, then love the final garment, and then you forget about the horrendous time and you're like, yeah, I'll make another silk dress. It's one of those ones where you get like instant amnesia about just how horrible working with this material was. But I do think the Vogue 1633 is a great option for making something like this Saint Laurent mini dress, which I just love those sleeves. It's all about the sleeves, clearly. No sleeves on this one, but it wouldn't be me if there wasn't at least one piece of Dolce & Gabbana featured. I just adore their aesthetic and all the prints that they use. So this is a very simple v-neck dress with a V at the front and the back. It has a sheared waistline and then a very full gathered skirt. It's gorgeous. It's 100% cotton and it's £945, which for a cotton dress from Dolce & Gabbana is actually not too bad, believe it or not. That's not a bad price, but still way too much for me to spend on that. So I really like the Charm Patterns cinch-it dress. Again, it's not a perfect copy because it doesn't have the V neckline, but that's not a difficult alteration to make, I don't think. But it does have the shearing in it for you already. Now, I believe that this Dolce & Gabbana dress has a fitted bodice and then the shearing and the skirt are one piece, and that they're actually seamed together at the top here, because the top of this dress is very well fitted, although I can't see any darts. I can't see any darts in there breaking up that print, but I do believe that this seam at the top of the shearing is a seam. I don't think it's the same as the cinch-it dress, which is one giant piece that you then put the shearing elastic in to give you the shaping. So it wouldn't be an exact copy. I think it would be fairly easy to add in a V neckline to the cinch-it dress. I'd be willing to give it a try. I'm probably only to the front of the cinch-it dress. I probably would leave the rounded neckline at the back just to make sure that it wouldn't slip off of my shoulders. But again, that's a personal preference of mine. I'm willing to give it a go to see if I can come up with something like this Dolce & Gabbana dress, because I love it and it looks so good on her. This shearing on the Dolce & Gabbana dress is Empire line, and I think it's probably stopped quite a bit above her natural waist. I would carry it down so that it was onto my natural waist, but the cinch-it dress actually has the shearing around your natural waist, so again, that's going to be for me, something more preferable than an Empire line dress. This one, it was the print and the sleeves that attracted me. I think it's really, really pretty. It's by Borgo de Noel. I've never heard of them before. Floral print v-neck dress, £795, and it's 100% polyester and dry clean only. Wow. So I saw this picture and I loved it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I like the v-neck. It is a very deep v-neck. I probably would go for something slightly higher just to make it easier for me to wear a bra. Been through those issues before. Love the sleeves, love the print. The pattern that I've picked for this one is the French Poetry Lune dress. I have this. Now again, it's not exactly the same, but it will give you a very similar vibe to the, let's see if I can get the name right, Borgo de Noel dress. Let's have a look at the line drawings. So you would need to slash and spread the sleeves to give you the fuller sleeves and make them slightly longer to give you the little ruffle at the bottom of the sleeve. So there's some shearing in there with the ruffle at the bottom. You would need to work on the sleeve pattern. This is kind of Empire line, but it's gorgeous. I love how it fits in at the waist and has shaping there and then flows out from there. I like the V, and it's not too deep a V, which again means that I'm going to be able to wear the bra that I want, not to have to wear a plunge bra. I just don't like plunge bras for me, so yeah, that's a personal preference. I would make this out of a floral viscose. I think the textile centre have quite a lot of small print floral viscoses in at the moment, so you could get something very similar to this and it would be absolutely gorgeous. I like how they've styled it as well with these boots. It's definitely something that I could see wearing in the spring months and then also in autumn, styled slightly differently. I can see myself putting like a double wrap belt on with this as well. I think it's a really, really pretty dress. I don't want to pay £795 for it though, and I already own the loon dress pattern and I can see myself making the effort to slash and spread the sleeves on this and make them a bit longer so that I have the billowy pirate sleeves that I absolutely love. And then the final piece that I have to show you is from Saloni, which is another designer that I really, really love their aesthetic. It's £695 for a floral print flared dress. It's 100% silk with 100% polyester lining. Why do they do that? Why spend all that money on the outer fabric? I need to put polyester in as a lining. Again, personally, I find polyester really uncomfortable to wear in any kind of heat, and this is a very spring summer dress to me, so I would want to have a silk lining or a breathable viscose lining or something, anything but polyester in there. So I really, really liked the print on this. I really liked the little puff sleeves. I liked the V, and that it's kind of Empire line. There's some shaping coming in at the waist, so it gives you a little bit of shape there, and then the floaty skirt over the top. Kind of very 1940s, 1930s looks. I think I've got that decade right. So I've actually got two pattern options for you. The first one is again from French Poetry, and it's the Pleiades. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. I know it's the star sign for Taurus. Pleiades dress number one. They have two versions of this. I own both of them. I've gone for this neckline and sleeve option, but there is another neckline and sleeve option if you wanted to like a higher with a ruffle on it. I think this view here would be gorgeous. Again, you'd need to put on the little puff sleeves, which you could totally add kind of gathering, or a cuff along here if you didn't want the ties. I would make this a lot longer. I know again Rachel from Stitched Up has made the Pleiades dress. It's very short and she's tall. I'm not as tall as Rachel. She's 5'10", I'm 5'8". I would need to add length to this, and I'd want to add length to it as well because I prefer this kind of length of dress. I thought the overall silhouette of this Saloni dress was very reminiscent of the Pleiades dress. Also, there is the McCall's 7381, which actually came free with Love Sewing magazine quite a while ago. It's slightly different. It kind of has a sort of surplus bodice that crosses over at the front. You can also put a little tie in it and elasticated at the back. It's not as structured as the Pleiades dress, but it would give you again an overall very similar silhouette to the Saloni dress. So there are those two options, the Pleiades dress from French Poetry or the McCall's 7381. Both of which will save you £695. I mean, obviously you have to pay for your pattern, you have to pay for your thread, you have to pay for your fabric, and your time goes into making up these things, but I love sewing that much that I would enjoy doing this. I don't have, nor probably would ever spend, even if I had it, would spend the money on these kind of things. I might buy them to have a look at them and see how they were made, but I doubt that the fit would be great on me because of my shape, and that's one of the beauties of sewing, is that you can make things fit you beautifully. I think my favourite out of all of these is the lemon print Oscar de la Renta dress. I have a whole stash of fabrics that are based around that Telio print. Yeah, I can see myself making a collection based around a dress like this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I may well make it sleeveless. I do like the little sleeves, but I do tend to in the summer prefer sleeveless dresses, so I might make it sleeveless, which is definitely a possibility with the pattern that I have picked, as you can see here from view A. But I do think that's my favourite, and it's probably my favourite because of the print. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favourite out of my picks today, and let me know what you think of the patterns that I've chosen for making a dupe of the designer item. How do you think I did? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have any other suggestions for patterns, especially from pattern companies that I don't know about, because I always love discovering new pattern companies. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!